Here's to the builders, the ones who don't wait for permission, the ones who learn at midnight, pitch at sunrise, and fail forward. They're not born with success, they build it. With duct tape, day jobs, and one good idea too stubborn to die. They aren't influencers, they influence by doing. The system wasn't made for them, but they make it work anyway. You can doubt them, mock them, ignore them, but you can't stop them. Because they know, real growth starts inside. This is for them. This is Dr. Wood Recommends, where business meets real life.
Your MBA is useless. Watch horror movies instead. What if I told you the most important business lessons don't come from a lecture hall? They come from horror movies. Stay with me. While business schools are busy teaching supply and demand, horror movies teach you how to survive when the supply is a horde of flesh-eating zombies and the demand is that you don't become dinner. The business world today isn't a neat, predictable case study. It's a chaotic, uncertain, and sometimes terrifying place where the rules change in a heartbeat. The skills that really matter aren't just about strategy and finance. They're about survival. For years, we've been told an MBA is the only way forward. We spend a fortune learning theories and models, but the modern workplace is a jungle, and theory only gets you so far. The World Economic Forum warns that around 39% of our core skills today could be out of date by 2030, making adaptability the single most important asset. And nothing teaches you how to adapt to the absolute worst case scenario quite like horror. The genre is a masterclass in resilience, creative problem solving, and crisis management that you just can't get from a textbook. So let's break down the 5 critical business lessons that horror movies teach far better than any Ivy League institution. I'm going to show you why the quick thinking of a slasher film's final girl might be more valuable in today's corporate world than a degree that struggles to keep up. Section 1. Crisis Management and the Art of Not Panicking. You know how the first chapter of any crisis management textbook goes: stay calm, gather information, form a committee. But the first 5 minutes of any horror movie show you exactly what happens when you don't. Panic is the real monster. In business and in horror, panicked people make awful decisions. They run upstairs when they should run out the front door. They trip over their own feet. In the corporate world, they freeze spending, lay off the best people, or make huge changes based on fear instead of facts. Research from ESSEC Business School confirms that leaders have to master their own emotional state to avoid panic-driven mistakes in a crisis. Horror movies are basically a perfect, if terrifying, simulation of this. The characters who make it to the end credits are the ones who can control their fear just long enough to make a rational choice. While being chased by some nightmare creature, they're the ones who still have the presence of mind to look for a weapon, a hiding spot, or an exit. That's emotional resilience you can practice from your couch. Horror is also a brutal lesson in planning for the worst. The characters who get picked off first are always the ones with no gas in the car or a dead phone battery. In business, that translates to running out of cash, losing a key employee with no one to replace them, or having your entire system crash with no backup. A business school might have you analyze a case study about a company that failed. A horror movie makes you watch it happen in real time, making you feel in your gut that the monster you prepare for is rarely the one that actually gets you. Section 2. Radical Creativity and Unconventional Problem Solving. MBA programs love structured problem solving. They give you frameworks like SWOT analysis and Porter's 5 forces. And those tools are useful if you're working inside a nice clean box. Horror movies teach you what to do when the box is on fire and something is trying to claw its way in. This is where radical creativity kicks in. It's about finding solutions that aren't in any manual. Think about the characters in a movie like A Quiet Place. They can't use normal solutions. They have to completely rebuild their lives around one deadly rule. That right there? That's innovation. In countless horror films, survivors use everyday objects in brilliant ways. A coat hanger becomes a lockpick, a fire extinguisher becomes a weapon, a mirror lets them see around a corner. This is a masterclass in being resourceful, a skill that every startup founder with a tiny budget needs to have. It's more than just being clever with a coat hanger. It's a total shift in how you see the world. You learn to see resources where other people see junk. You see a way out where everyone else sees a dead end. This is the kind of thinking that lets a small company disrupt an entire industry. While an MBA professor is explaining market dynamics on a whiteboard, the hero of a horror film is actively MacGyvering a solution to survive the night. That skill, the ability to innovate under extreme pressure, is something no classroom can really teach. It's about making the most of what you have, which is what separates thriving businesses from cautionary tales. Section 3. Unyielding resilience and confronting your demons. Think about any horror movie survivor. What's the one thing they all have in common? They, Doctor, not quit. Characters like Laurie Strode from Halloween or Sidney Prescott from Scream are defined by their refusal to give up no matter how many times the villain comes back. They get beaten down, wounded, and terrified, but they always get back up, a little stronger and a lot smarter. This is the heart of entrepreneurial grit. The business world throws relentless challenges at you. A product launch that bombs, a sudden market crash, a competitor that feels unstoppable. Giving up is always an option. Resilience is what builds empires. Horror movies also teach a vital lesson about facing your problems. The characters who hide in the closet, who try to pretend the noise downstairs is just the wind, are always the first to go. In business, we call this avoidance. It's ignoring bad financial reports, refusing to deal with a toxic employee, or just hoping a major flaw in your product will magically fix itself. It never does. Problems you ignore don't go away, they grow, just like the monster in the basement. Watching a character finally turn and face their tormentor is a powerful lesson. It's the moment they stop being a victim and start fighting back. And believe it or not, there's some science to this. Researchers have found that watching scary movies can act as a controlled way to face fear, helping people build resilience to real-life stress. An MBA might teach you how to assess risk, but it can't teach you the sheer force of will needed to face that risk when everything is on the line. Horror shows you that survival and success is an active choice. Section 4. The iron law of teamwork: never split up. All right, you knew this one was coming. What is the number one most infamous rule in any horror movie? Never. Split. Upper. The second the group says, "Let's split up, we'll cover more ground," they're all doomed. This isn't just a tired cliche, it's a deep lesson about teamwork and the danger of working in silos. A company where the sales team never talks to marketing, or where engineering is totally cut off from customer support, is a company that has decided to split up. And we all know how that ends. A team that actually communicates and works together is always stronger than a bunch of smart people working alone. Think about the team in Ghostbusters or the Scooby-Doo gang. Their strength was in collaboration. In a crisis, that sense of togetherness is what gets you through. When a team is aligned, they can handle almost anything. When they start pointing fingers, the environment becomes toxic, and the monster, whether it's a market competitor or a literal demon, always wins. Horror also teaches you to know when to ask for help. When the family in The Conjuring realizes they are completely out of their depth, what do? They call the Warrens, the experts. In business, knowing when to bring in a consultant, a specialist, or a mentor is a critical skill. Too many founders try to do it all themselves, either because of ego or to save money, and they fail because they were missing one specific piece of knowledge. The smartest people in horror and in business are the ones who know what they don't know and aren't afraid to ask for help. If you're getting more out of this than you did from your last tuition bill, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. It's free, and you'll get more ideas that challenge the usual way of thinking. Section 5. Masterful ROI and the power of a loyal fan base. The lessons aren't just in the movies themselves, they're in the business of horror movies. While horror might not always have the massive box office numbers of a superhero blockbuster, when it comes to return on investment, it's a killer. Films like The Blair Witch Project or Paranormal Activity were made for pocket change and went on to make hundreds of millions of dollars, proving that a huge budget doesn't guarantee success. The real keys are creativity, knowing your audience, and being smart with your money. This is basically the lean startup method in action. Horror filmmakers are masters of doing more with less. They don't need A-list stars or over-the-top special effects. They use suspense, smart storytelling, and practical effects to get the job done. This is a crucial lesson for any business. Focus on maximizing your return. Every dollar you spend needs to have a purpose. This is a huge contrast to the wasteful mindset you see in some big corporations where money gets thrown at problems without a clear plan. Finally, horror franchises are incredible at building something priceless, a die-hard fan base. Franchises like Halloween, Friday the 13th, and Scream have built communities of fans who will show up for every single sequel, reboot, and spin-off. They do this by giving their core audience exactly what they want, time and time again. In business, this is called brand loyalty. The most successful companies don't just sell you something once, they create an experience and a community that keeps you coming back. An MBA will teach you about marketing funnels, but a horror franchise will show you how to build a legacy. So, what's the bottom line? Look, I'm not saying you should drop out of your MBA program. A formal education gives you a solid foundation, and the degree still leads to high salaries and strong employment rates. But in a world that changes this fast, that foundation isn't enough. Many of the most important skills for getting through the modern corporate landscape, resilience, creativity under pressure, persistence, collaboration, and resourcefulness, aren't things you can learn in a classroom. And these are the exact skills at the heart of every great horror movie. Horror is a powerful teacher. It forces us to think on our feet, it pushes us to be creative, and it shows us the incredible strength that comes from facing our fears. It teaches us that survival isn't something that just happens to you. It's an active, relentless, and creative fight. The business world of tomorrow will be messy and unpredictable. A degree might give you a map of how things used to be, but horror movies teach you how to survive when you're completely off the map, in the dark, with the sound of something unknown getting closer. And in those moments, you'll be glad you spent a little less time with case studies and a little more time with a good scary movie. Now, I want to hear from you. What's a horror movie that taught you a surprising lesson about life or business? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one. And if you enjoyed this unconventional breakdown, you'll probably love my video on the business lessons you can learn from classic video games. Click the video on the screen to watch it next, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss what's coming up. Thanks for watching.